Only 5% of seniors can still do these 5 things after 70, and they're living proof that aging well is possible. Let me ask you something that might make you pause for a moment. Do you want to be like the 95% who slowly lose their strength and freedom? Or will you choose to be part of the 5% who stay active, independent, and full of life, no matter their age? Because make no mistake, there are those who will reach their later years strong, independent, and capable, while the vast majority will slip into frailty and dependency. And the terrifying thing, it's not random. It's a predictable consequence of the choices you make. We like to tell ourselves that aging is inevitable, that losing strength, mental clarity, and resilience is just part of the package. But that's a lie we tell ourselves to avoid responsibility. The truth, the harsh but liberating truth, is that you have far more control over your longevity and health than you think. So today I want to share with you 5 critical things that only 5% of seniors can still do after 70. These are not just nice-to-haves. They are the dividing line between a fulfilling, vibrant life and one marked by suffering and decline. And if you start working on them today, you dramatically increase your odds of joining the 5%. Most people don't think twice about sitting on the floor. It's something we do naturally when we're young, playing as children, stretching after a workout, or just lounging casually. But as we age, something changes. Suddenly, getting up off the floor becomes a struggle, a moment of panic, or even an impossibility. And yet this seemingly simple ability is one of the strongest indicators of longevity and independence. The ability to get up from the floor requires a combination of mobility, balance, coordination, and strength. It engages the core, the legs, and the stabilizing muscles that keep us upright and steady. If any one of these components weakens, the entire system becomes compromised. That's why so many seniors who lose this ability find themselves at a significantly higher risk of injury, hospitalization, and overall decline. It's not just about the mechanics of standing up. It's about what that loss represents, a body that is no longer capable of basic movement without assistance. One of the most dangerous situations an aging person can face is a fall. Falls are the leading cause of injury death in seniors. And what's even more alarming is that many of these deaths don't come from the fall itself, but from what happens after. If a person falls and cannot get up, they are at risk of prolonged immobility, which can lead to serious complications like pressure sores, dehydration, and even organ failure. The longer someone remains on the ground without help, the worse the outcome becomes. This isn't just about preventing catastrophe, it's about maintaining freedom. If you can get up off the floor without assistance, you are demonstrating that you have maintained a fundamental level of physical fitness. It means your muscles are strong enough to push you up, your joints are mobile enough to move fluidly, and your nervous system is responsive enough to coordinate the action. This is why maintaining strength and flexibility as you age isn't optional. Regular exercise, particularly strength training and balance work, can ensure that you never lose this ability. People who stay in the top 5% of physical ability in old age don't get there by accident. They prioritize movement. They squat, stretch, and challenge their bodies daily. They don't accept the lie that weakness is inevitable, because the moment you stop moving is the moment you start declining. And once that decline begins, it's much harder to reverse. Strength is not just about aesthetics or lifting heavy weights in a gym. It's about survival. The ability to carry a bag of groceries without struggling is a basic yet crucial indicator of whether a person will maintain their independence as they age. This simple task requires grip strength, upper and lower body power, and core stability. When any of these begin to weaken, everyday activities become difficult, and dependency starts creeping in. The people who maintain this ability into their later years are those who have consistently worked to preserve their muscle mass and functional strength. As people age, they naturally lose muscle mass through a process called sarcopenia. This decline begins as early as the 30s and accelerates without intentional resistance training. The average person loses around 3–5% of their muscle mass per decade, And by the time they reach 70, this loss can become debilitating. Weakness doesn't just mean struggling with physical tasks. It means an increased risk of falls, slower recovery from illness, and a reduced ability to handle daily stresses. The stronger a person is, the more resilient they are against injury, disease, and the inevitable challenges that come with aging. Grip strength in particular has been strongly linked to overall health and longevity. Research has shown that weaker grip strength correlates with a higher risk of heart disease, cognitive decline, and even early mortality. If you cannot hold onto a bag of groceries without fatigue, it signals a deeper issue with your overall strength and endurance. This isn't just about lifting. It's about being able to confidently navigate the world without fearing that your body will fail you. Carrying a bag of groceries also engages the core, shoulders, back, and legs. It requires the ability to stabilize and move weight efficiently. If these muscles deteriorate, basic tasks like getting up from a chair, opening a jar, or even maintaining posture while walking become more difficult. The good news is that muscle loss is not inevitable. Strength training, particularly resistance exercises like squats, deadlifts, and grip exercises, can prevent and even reverse this decline. Those who remain in the top 5% of physically capable seniors are the ones who have made strength training a non-negotiable part of their lives. They don't wait until weakness sets in to start caring about their physical health. They take action early, knowing that strength is not something you inherit or hope to keep. It is something you deliberately build and fight to maintain. Climbing. A flight of stairs may seem like a routine task, but it is one of the most telling measures of cardiovascular and muscular endurance. The ability to ascend stairs without gasping for air indicates a well-tuned heart, strong legs, and a body capable of sustaining effort under load. When this ability diminishes, it is a red flag that overall health is declining. For many, the moment they start avoiding stairs is the moment their world begins to shrink. The heart is a muscle, and like any muscle, it must be trained. If it is not regularly challenged, it weakens. A strong cardiovascular system ensures that oxygen is efficiently delivered to the muscles, allowing the body to perform sustained activity without fatigue. When someone struggles with stairs, it often signals that their heart is no longer conditioned for exertion. This is not just about fitness, it is a direct predictor of longevity. Research consistently shows that those who maintain cardiovascular endurance live longer, have lower risks of chronic disease, and recover faster from illness. Leg strength is equally important. Climbing stairs requires power from the quadriceps, hamstrings, and glutes, as well as stability from the core. If these muscles atrophy due to inactivity, tasks that were once effortless become strenuous. Weak legs increase the risk of falls, which are a leading cause of injury and loss of independence in older adults. The difference between someone who can climb stairs with ease at 70 and someone who struggles is often a history of either movement or neglect. Beyond physical capability, avoiding stairs leads to behavioral decline. People who find stairs difficult often begin limiting their movements. They choose to stay on one floor, take the elevator even for short distances, or avoid certain places altogether. This gradual withdrawal from activity accelerates health decline. The less the body is used, the faster it deteriorates. Maintaining the ability to climb stairs is not about luck, it is about consistent effort. Those in the top 5% of physically capable seniors engage in regular cardiovascular exercise, strength training, and movement-based activities. Walking, hiking, stair climbing, and resistance exercises keep both the heart and muscles strong. They do not wait until their endurance fades to start caring. They train their bodies long before limitations arise. The body adapts to what it is regularly exposed to. If it is challenged, it strengthens. If it is neglected, it weakens. The choice is made every single day. Memory is often seen as something that naturally fades with age, but that belief is both misleading and dangerous. The ability to remember a short list of 5 items might seem trivial, but it is a powerful indicator of cognitive health. When this ability declines, it is often the first sign that deeper neurological issues may be developing. Those who maintain strong memory into their 70s and beyond are not simply lucky. They have engaged in lifelong habits that preserve and strengthen brain function. The brain, like any other organ, requires regular stimulation to stay sharp. When it is not challenged, it begins to atrophy. Just as muscles weaken from lack of use, neural pathways deteriorate when they are not exercised. The ability to recall information depends on the strength of these pathways, and without deliberate mental effort, they fade. People who stop learning new things, who disengage from problem solving, or who rely too heavily on external memory aids like phones and notepads are often the ones who experience cognitive decline the fastest. There is a direct connection between mental activity and long-term brain health. Engaging in activities that require memory, attention, and critical thinking strengthens neural connections. Reading books, playing strategic games, learning a new language, or even engaging in deep conversation forces the brain to work, reinforcing its ability to store and retrieve information. Studies have shown that individuals who continue to challenge their minds as they age are significantly less likely to develop dementia or Alzheimer's disease. Memory is also linked to overall physical health. The brain relies on strong circulation, a healthy nervous system, and proper nutrition. Exercise, particularly cardiovascular activity, increases blood flow to the brain, delivering oxygen and nutrients that support cognitive function. Poor lifestyle habits such as a sedentary routine, processed foods, chronic stress, and poor sleep accelerate mental decline. Those in the top 5% of cognitively capable seniors prioritize movement, proper diet, and consistent mental engagement. The difference between those who maintain their memory and those who lose it is often a matter of daily habits. A strong brain is not something that happens by accident. It is built through continuous learning, problem-solving, and physical health maintenance. Those who refuse to let their minds go idle, who challenge themselves with new experiences and intellectual pursuits, are the ones who retain sharpness into old age. Memory is not simply lost with time. It is either actively preserved or gradually surrendered. A sense of purpose is one of the most powerful factors in determining not just how long a person lives, but how well they live. People who wake up each day with a reason to engage with the world are far more likely to maintain their physical health, cognitive sharpness, and emotional resilience. Those who lose their sense of purpose often deteriorate rapidly, both mentally and physically. The body and mind respond to meaning. When a person believes their life has value, their entire system functions better. Studies on longevity consistently show that individuals with a strong sense of purpose live longer and experience lower rates of depression, cognitive decline, and disease. This is not just a psychological phenomenon, it is a biological reality. When a person has meaning in their life, their body releases beneficial hormones that reduce stress, lower inflammation, and strengthen the immune system. In contrast, those who feel their life lacks significance often experience chronic stress, leading to higher levels of cortisol, which accelerates aging and deteriorates overall health. Retirement often marks a critical turning point. Many people spend decades building careers, raising families, or contributing to their community. When those responsibilities fade, some struggle to redefine their identity. Without a clear purpose, motivation declines, routines disappear, and engagement with the world diminishes. The people who thrive after 70 are the ones who actively seek out new ways to contribute. Whether it is through mentorship, creative pursuits, volunteering, or continuous learning, they remain connected to something larger than themselves. Purpose is not something that is handed to a person, it is something that must be cultivated. Waiting for inspiration or meaning to appear leads to stagnation. Those in the top 5% of seniors who maintain vitality do not passively accept aging as a slow decline. They deliberately structure their days around meaningful activities, relationships, and goals. They stay curious, challenge themselves, and find ways to be of service to others. A life without purpose leads to withdrawal, isolation, and eventually a loss of vitality. But the good news is that meaning can always be created. It is never too late to take on a new project, form new relationships, or dedicate time to something valuable. The mind and body respond to engagement with life. Those who recognize this truth and act on it continue to grow, while those who give in to complacency begin to fade. The difference is a choice, a decision to stay engaged, to contribute, and to remain an active participant in life. Now, let's be clear. None of this happens by accident. Strength, resilience, mental sharpness, purpose, these things must be earned. But the beauty of it is that you don't have to wait until you're 70 to start. You start today. You build the habits, you develop the discipline, you take control of your future before it's too late. Because here's the honest truth. Following, the crowd leads to the same quiet decline so many face, and what most people settle for. It's fatigue, fragility, and a life lived smaller with each passing year. But you have a choice. Choose to build strength, not surrender it. Choose to stay sharp, not slip away. Choose to live with energy, purpose, and pride. Because the gap between those who fade and those who flourish isn't chance, it's choice. And that choice, it begins with what you do today.